China just officially weaponized silver. On January 1st, 2026, Beijing launched a massive export licensing regime that puts them in control of 70% of the world's silver supply. This isn't just about jewelry, it's a strategic chokehold on AI, EVs, and the US defense grid. Today on Rich Resource, we're reacting to a deep dive that reveals why the US economy is walking into a silver trap. If you have a 401k or own tech stocks, you cannot afford to miss this. Let's get into it.
Ministry of Commerce that China will now be controlling the export of silver to foreign nations. You see, while China also boasts a very strong military, over the past few decades, they have focused relentlessly on controlling critical choke points of the global economy, particularly in minerals, which is starting to give them big leverage over the United States and other countries globally, not with these things, but with these things. And the crazy thing is, these bits of paper might be more powerful because once these choke points are controlled, they create big economic shortfalls in other nations that can't be rectified by China's adversaries, at least not without a ton of investment and a heck of a lot of time. So in this video, I want to talk about China's quiet plan to choke the United States and the global economy and the 5 key pillars that are helping them do it. Now, the first core pillar, and the one that's been all over the news lately, has been China's control of critical metals. And the one you've likely seen pop up recently has been silver. In fact, in the past few weeks, China has enacted a restriction of silver exports, a metal critical to US industry and defense supply chains.
The source mentions the supply deficit, but look at the numbers. We are looking at a 250 million ounce gap this year. China is stockpiling while the West is scrambling. Pro tip for my Rich Resource viewers, watch the 44 companies China just licensed. If they stop shipping, prices moon.
However, made the opposite decision. It invested heavily, accepted the environmental costs, and it built an end-to-end ecosystem which is capable of refining rare earths at industrial scale. And as a result, even rare earths that are mined outside of China are frequently shipped there for processing before being sent back to global manufacturers. So for electric vehicle motors, wind turbines, smartphones, data centers, advanced electronics, and on the military side, we're talking fighter jets, missile guidance systems, radar arrays, night vision equipment, precision weapons. The rare earth elements that are at the core of these technologies are almost completely controlled by China. So to put it bluntly, rare earths don't just support economic growth, they basically underpin the military capability of countries. And this is why the US is now suddenly so concerned about rare earth refining, because China actually controls the bottleneck to a lot of America's top-end tech. And while new mines can be developed, albeit over a period of many years, rebuilding the refining capacity that requires, specialized infrastructure, regulatory approvals, skilled labor, and a lot of capital investment.
It's not just about the minerals, it's about what you do with them. Without Chinese rare earths, TSMC can't build the AI chips NVIDIA needs. It's a house of cards. Actionable step. Check your portfolio for overexposure to companies reliant on a single-point supply chain. Diversification isn't just a buzzword in 2026, it's survival.
Chips, reality is very different. These firms are just chip designers, not manufacturers. And in fact, the physical production of the world's most advanced semiconductors, particularly at the leading edge 3 nanometer and 5 nanometer nodes, is overwhelmingly concentrated at TSMC. Estimates suggest that around 80 to 90% of the world's most advanced chips are manufactured in Taiwan, with TSMC responsible for the vast majority of that output. Now, this concentration creates one of the most extreme economic choke points in the modern global economy, because advanced semiconductors are not just, consumer electronics components. They sit at the heart of artificial intelligence, the heart of data centers, cloud computing, advanced weapon systems, surveillance technologies, and basically all modern military hardware. Precision-guided missiles, autonomous drones, radar systems, secure communications, they all depend on cutting-edge chips that currently cannot be produced at scale anywhere else in the world. And what do you know? These advanced semiconductor chips, the new currency of the modern technological world, just happen to sit almost entirely on this tiny little island that's barely 100 miles off the coast of China. This is why Xi Jinping is preparing the PLA to be ready to invade by the end of this year. They're building boats, they're doing large-scale military drills around the waters of Taiwan because they can see that if they can control another arm of the global economy in semiconductors, they have another monster layer of leverage.
This is the grand slam move. China isn't just controlling the silver and the chips. They are attacking the very foundation of US power, the dollar. By moving BRICS nations toward a new reserve currency, they are essentially making US sanctions useless. If the dollar loses its world reserve status, your savings account loses its value overnight. This is why you see the wealthy moving into hard assets like silver and gold. What do you think? Is the dollar dead by 2030? Drop a yes or no in the comments. I'm curious to see where you stand.
Hambantota Port never generated anywhere near enough traffic to service its debt. By the mid-2010s, Sri Lanka was struggling under heavy external debt obligations, and repayments to the Chinese lenders became increasingly difficult. And this is where the leverage appears. In 2017, Sri Lanka agreed to hand over an 85% stake in Hambantota Port to a Chinese state-owned company, China Merchants Port Holdings, along with a 99-year lease in exchange for debt relief and cash to stabilize its finances. So China, after being the nice guys and building Sri Lanka a massive shipping port, actually now just own this asset and have long-term operational control of a strategic port along one of the world's busiest shipping corridors. Sri Lanka, meanwhile, lost ownership of a critical piece of infrastructure in their own country, not through invasion, not through coercion, just through balance sheets and loan agreements. And that is the final layer of China's strategy. Silver, rare earths, that controls the inputs, semiconductors, that controls the technology. The Belt and Road builds the global trade network, and then debt quietly locks countries into the sphere of influence.
China is playing the long game. The question is, are you? Hit that subscribe button to join the rich resource community. We track these shifts so you don't get blindsided. Comment silver below if you want my updated price prediction for next month. I'll see you in the next one.